And welcome back. It's Jason Walty here. Hope you guys have an awesome day, by the way. I want to share an update for the Raleigh, North Carolina housing market, as well as Atlanta, Georgia in today's video. Let's first talk about Raleigh, North Carolina, because a lot of you guys asked about what is happening in that market. So I'm going to be answering that question in today's video here. So new listings in Raleigh, North Carolina. And by the way, I'm going to be going over new listings, housing inventory, pending home sales, price reductions, and of course, home prices and much, much more in today's video. So in Raleigh, North Carolina, new listings are down by 20.1%. The levels we have right now are below 2019 as well as 2021. The orange line right here is 2021. Here's 2019, obviously pre-COVID. And the black line's obviously this year, 2022. So new listings are down by 20.1%, which is actually on par with the national trends, because on a national level, new listings are down by 21.6% for the metros that Redfin tracks. So new listings down by 20% is on par with the nation's averages here. Let's talk about active listings in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is right here. Active listings are up compared to last year by 22.47%. So approximately 22% more houses listed for sale right now compared to the same time period last year. There was about 5,000 houses for sale. Last year at this time, there's approximately 4,100. And also back in 2019, we had approximately 7,200 houses for sale. Now there's only 5,068 houses for sale in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's also talk about pending home sales in Raleigh, North Carolina. So pendings are down, wow, look at that, down by 47% on a year-over-year basis, well below 2019, and of course below 2021 as well. So pendings are down by 46%, yet we have active listings up by 22.47% from 1 year ago. So that's telling me that housing demand is decreasing greatly, because if we had a lot more houses listed for sale or an increase of housing inventory, if the housing market was still very, very strong, we would be seeing more pending home sales. In fact, we're seeing just the opposite though, because we have more houses for sale up by 22%, yet pending home sales are down by 47% on a year-over-year basis here. So I'm guessing because pending home sales have been decreasing big time, let's have a look at price drops according to altosresearch.com. So the share of price drops in Raleigh, North Carolina is sitting at approximately 53%. That's the share. That more or less means that approximately 5 of every 10 houses listed for sale right now have already reduced their asking price. So about 53%, which actually is a little bit less than national averages, because on a national level, the share of price reductions is actually 42%. So the share of price reductions in Raleigh, North Carolina is approximately 11 percentage points greater compared to the national averages here. Also look at the past couple of years here, because right now at 53% in Raleigh, North Carolina, last year it was only 27%. Back in 2020, it was 34%. And pre-COVID back in 2019, it was approximately 43%. All right, so going back to Redfin's report right here, let's go over closed home sales in Raleigh, North Carolina, because those are down by 33% compared to the same time period in 2021. So we're seeing fewer houses selling. We're also seeing fewer contracts being signed between buyers and sellers, which we see by the big decrease in pending home sales, down by 47%. Let's also have a look at the month supply in Raleigh, North Carolina. Actually, Redfin looks at week supply because inventory has been so low over the past couple of years here. So the week supply, according to Redfin here in Raleigh, North Carolina, is 14 and a half weeks. In other words, that means approximately the month supply is around 3.6 months in Raleigh, North Carolina. So the week supply right now is 14 and a half weeks. 1 year ago, it was approximately 7.7 weeks. So the week supply has more or less doubled in the past 1 year in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's also have a look at home prices in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is based on the median sold price for the 4 weeks ended December 4th. So the median sold price in Raleigh is $433,000. Look at that, up by 10% on a year-over-year basis, which is actually higher than historical averages. Home prices tend to increase in range of 3 to 6% and not 10%. But I would imagine last year it increased big time. Look at that. So right now it's up by 10% on a year-over-year basis, but last year it was up by 25% at the same time period 1 year ago. So we went from 25% gain now to only a 10% gain. Also interesting to see here as well that home prices really haven't decreased very much in Raleigh because look at this, $433,000 is the median sold price right now, and the peak was more or less right here, more or less in July and August of this year, when the median sold price was $446,000. So it only came down from $446,000 now to $433,000. So not a lot of movement regarding home prices in Raleigh since the summer months of this year. But compared to last year, 25% gain, now only a 10% gain on a year-over-year basis. Let's also have a look at how fast or how slow houses are selling in Raleigh. And look at that. 41 days is the median days on the market. That means that's taking approximately 9.5 days longer to sell a house compared to last year. This is because last year it was taking approximately 32 days to sell a house. Now it's approximately 41 days. Let's also have a look at the average sale price to list price ratio. And by the way, this list price here is the final list price, not the original list price here. So it more or less excludes price reductions here. This is a big changes here. Look at this. So the average sale price to list price ratio is more or less 99%, meaning houses on average selling for approximately 1% below the seller's final list price. This is much different compared to 1 year ago, though. Look at this. Back in 2021, houses on average were selling for about 3% over the seller's asking price. Now they're selling for about 1% below. Also, look at this because during the spring months this year, houses on average are selling about 6% over the seller's asking price and has been tanking ever since then. It's also worth mentioning right here that the levels we have right now are below 2019 as well as 2021. Let's change gears again and talk about the Atlanta, Georgia housing market and see what's going on there. So new listings are down by 32.5%. Remember, on a national level, new listings are down by 21.6%. So new listings are down by 32.5%, a bigger decrease compared to the national averages here. We're seeing fewer new listings really ever since the summer months of this year compared to last year. Let's also have a look at housing inventory or active listings in Atlanta, Georgia. There's approximately 30% more houses for sale in Atlanta, Georgia right now compared to 2021. There's approximately 20,000 houses for sale. Last year, there's approximately 16,000. 20,000 this year. In 2019, there was 30,000 houses for sale, and now there's only 20,000. So there's approximately 30% more houses listed for sale in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's have a look at pending home sales there. So pending home sales are down by 46.1%. So even though they're seeing this huge increase of housing inventory, pending home sales have been declining big time, down by 46.1%. So I'm guessing because pending home sales have been below 2019 as well as 2021 ever since the early parts of this year, I'm guessing closed home sales are going down big time as well. Let's have a look at that. So closed home sales are down by 38.2%, well below 2019 as well as 2021. Let's have a look at price drops in Atlanta, Georgia, according to Altos. So the share of price drops in Atlanta, Georgia is approximately 49% right now. This is higher than last year, though, when the share was about 35%. 2020 was 38%. 2019 it was 46%. So the share of price reductions right now is more or less on par with pre-pandemic levels when they were at about 46% back in 2019. Going back to Redfin's report right here, let's look at the week supply in Atlanta, Georgia. So the week supply is at 16.6 weeks is the week supply in Atlanta, Georgia right now, which means the month supply is around 4 months. Now this is much different compared to 2021 because back in 2021, the week supply was 7.3 weeks, just under a 2-month housing supply, a very, very strong housing market 1 year ago, and now it's getting very close to more or less a balanced housing market. In regards to home prices in Atlanta, Georgia, have a look at this. The median sold price is $370,000, up by 8% on a year-over-year basis, 1 year ago, the median sold price was up by 21%. So even though the gains right now at 8% is still above historical averages, it's way below last year when the gains was about 21% compared to 2020. But as you can see right here, home prices have been declining ever since May and June of this year, when the median sold price reached $402,000 during the 4 weeks ended June 19th of this year. This means the median sold price in Atlanta, Georgia has decreased by 8% compared to the highs we saw back in May and June of this year. One thing I do want to mention is that home prices do tend to decrease or plateau out in the second half of the year. That's entirely normal. But what's not normal is that home prices declined by 8% since May and June of this year, which is a little bit excessive here. So I actually did some digging for you guys and found out that back in 2019, during that same time frame, which is more or less May and June of 2019, through the early parts of 2019, or actually the early parts of December of 2019, home prices declined by 5.8% compared to a decrease of 8% this year. Okay, that's the latest trends we're seeing regarding home prices. Let's also have a look at how fast or how slow houses are selling in Atlanta, Georgia. So the median days in the market is 34 days. This means it's taking approximately 17 days longer to sell a house compared to the same time period 1 year ago. So that means that the days on the market has doubled over the past year. So days on the market at 34 days right now. 1 year ago, it was only 17 and a half days. Days in the market is also getting very close to 2019's levels, because back in 2019, at this time, days in the market was approximately 39 days. And lastly, let's have a look at the average sale price to final list price ratio here. Average sale price to list price ratio in Atlanta, Georgia is approximately 98%. Meaning houses are selling for about 2% below the seller's final list price here. This is much different compared to 1 year ago, though, because 1 year ago, the ratio was very close to 101%. And back in the spring months this year, the ratio was very close to 103%, meaning houses on average were selling for about 3% over the seller's asking price. Now they're selling for approximately 1% or 2% below asking. And with that said, please comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you guys got any value in this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you guys have an awesome day. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.